Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. Oddly, we are kind of now close to the end, closer than it feels like we should be. We're doing a color combination with the frescoes here, where I imagine there will be one point where the blue, the green, and the red that I'm going to add will light up only one place, or possibly leave one place not lit up. And that seems to be the only thing here. Let's just double check. And
I decided not to leave quite yet. I was sure there was more to discover up here.
Just make sure there's no other pixel or anything to look at that we haven't looked at.
Light streamed through the window onto a lens.
I think we've already talked to this guy and gotten all the information. He doesn't even want to respond. It's a load long animation. Alright. So yes, I nearly did finish this puzzle without talking to him, so let's go through everything.
He wouldn't want to see it.
And we're going to get the standard response. This is probably as far as we've ever been. Now, there's just a lot of conversation here.
He probably wouldn't care.
But first, we're going to go through all of this.
I don't think that will help us.
Let's see.
Are you sure you don't want your medallion back?
I am sure. I know you will find a use for it.
So I had to light this candle.
Anything else about the photograph you can tell me?
No,
first, but then I'll use the medallion on the candle.
Memories.
This sketch of the face in La Maledictio.
What of it?
See,
Who is it? And what does the symbol
it
mean?
doesn't for a second
Face
feel...
means nothing to me. But the symbol, it represents the tabula veritatis.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're going to go to yet another location and then have to do a puzzle. You would potentially, like, maybe break up the pieces of the tabular vertis or whatever you would be looking for in a point-and-click adventure, and then have us go to 3 different places around the world, and then you could have it be more open world and say you could go here and get this piece, you can go here and get that piece, you can go here and get that piece, and once you have all 3 pieces, then you go to a 4th location. I've seen that in plenty of point-and-click adventures, but I don't think we're getting any of that in this game. I think we're gonna just find it, end up in 1 or 2 final scenes, and then that could be the end of the game.
I told you they do not interest me.
This is the second time I've clicked on a lot of these things.
The words of a Dominican priest hold no interest for me.
Take a look at this.
Seems like I'm able to show more things to him.
That is of no matter.
So at least he's responding, even if it's unimportant responses.
Take a look at this.
I don't think that will help us.
And the problem here now is we know some of these things do actually lead to kind of Easter egg lines of dialogue, but they happen so rarely. You have to suffer through clicking through everything before you can even get that one interesting response.
Here's Trevor again.
Enough. You must stay focused.
Sure you don't want a cookie?
I am sure.
We're almost done.
Take a look at this.
That is of no matter.
And it feels like this Ode to Toilet is an item that we probably could have gotten rid of earlier. We probably should have gotten rid of the matches after lighting this candle. The cockroach and the cookie and the paper clip. Like, we haven't used the paper clip at all. So it's just going to be an item either that we hold on to for the rest of the game, or it's going to be useful way down the line. The same is true with the ball of yarn, which was given to us by the flower seller.
Take a look at this.
I don't think that will help us.
Now, I might be wrong here, and this should be blue and this should be green, but let's click on all of these before we try.
Does all that colored light falling on the fresco mean anything?
I don't know, senor. That is why I need you to help me.
What's the deal with these lenses that the statues are carrying?
Clearly, they change the color of light that is reflected onto the fresco.
But why? And why the different colors?
Some really default responses here.
Wow. This Alba Jensen crusade sure must have been a bloody affair.
Few were spared. But it was only one episode in 2 millennia of persecution.
So the tabula is the key to the power of God.
Yes, it is an object of tremendous power.
Which God, as it was described before, Jehovah and Lucifer here are equal counterbalancing gods according to their belief.
So you say the Cathars are Gnostics?
The Cathars were a medieval religious movement based on Gnosticism. Nowadays, we simply call ourselves Gnostics.
You talk about balance. What does that mean?
Harmony comes from the balance of Jehovah, who offers order, and Lucifer, who brings ambition. Only under their dual influence will man become enlightened. See the light.
This was probably the main puzzle, the first puzzle they worked on, and that they reworked over and over again throughout the game. In fact, it feels like the creators of this game read us a book about Gnosticism and then made the puzzle directly on that. I guess that is a problem with writing stories about the Templars and secret societies and such. Either you're going to have to repeat some well-worn stories that other writers have already told, like the Da Vinci Code, or you're going to have to just make up some secret societies or go really crazy with it and make up some stories based very loosely on some things that actually happened.
So this statue is Satan?
Not Satan, Lucifer.
Okay, so not evil?
The church demonized Lucifer to suit their own ends. He represents the spiritual and intellectual elements of the world. Good and evil are simply products of the human condition.
So Jehovah, he's God, isn't he?
He is the central figure in Abrahamic religions, but he represents just one aspect of our Gnostic beliefs, the physical world.
Ironically, I just covered the game Bayonetta, so there'll be two games that talk a lot about religion airing somewhat close to each other. Don't worry, I'll try not to make a habit of it.
This fresco means
Most
something.
video games
I
don't
know
try to
it.
cover the
It
topics.
is not just a historical record. There is a mystery locked in here. All those figures crossing the Pyrenees, one of them has to be carrying the real Tabula Veritatis.
Oh, so there's
But
multiple pictures
Which one?
of people carrying Tabula Veritatis. And so we've got to figure out the right one. Ironically, the Assassin's Creed series probably should have more of this happening, considering they deal with Templars and the Assassins, and they don't. They tell stories that are very personal and very fantastical.
Why was this room so well hidden?
After Monsegur, my ancestors were very careful about announcing their presence. Even I, as a boy, knew nothing of this place.
So he's seeing it for the first time too. Alright, we're done. That was a significant amount of time.
Amazing. The light is showing the path of the bonzome.
The what?
The sacred trail my ancestors took across the Pyrenees, carrying the tabula veritatis.
I have no idea how that would have worked.
Montségur, across the mountains to this town.
And which town is that?
I don't know. That I cannot answer. But its coat of arms is quite distinctive.
But how does it bring us closer to the tabula?
It tells us the route the tabula took 800 years ago.
I think that's all we're going to find up here.
You're right. We should return to the hall. Eva will be getting worried.
Maybe we should cover up the lenses and all of that. So, was it this coat of arms?
Okay, we found the route of the bonzome trail. How does it help us?
It must somehow relate to the painting.
Papa, are you crazy? What are you doing?
I'm fine. Don't fuss.
You got me out here to look after you, so let me do it. Ramon is outside keeping watch.
And Nico comes back in.
George, I'm glad you're safe. What did you find?
There's a secret chapel above the fireplace. But it's not your average everyday chapel. It's a Gnostic chapel. All laid out for worshipping not one god, but two.
What?
Do we
I'll
really
tell you when we
need
have
to
more time.
You know, I
go
found
over this
something too,
again?
which might connect with all that. Come to the library. Oh, could you bring the painting? I think we're going to need it.
It's a little surprising they'd let you take the painting again.
What are you doing with La Maledizio?
Nico found something and asked me to bring the painting. I promised to take care of it.
So if we
The
look at
scroll
this
beneath the shield read Figueres.
figures. None of these other shields seem to be anywhere close to that, so
Eva, go with him. Make sure the painting comes to no harm.
I should stay with you, Papa.
so it feels
Don't
like he
worry
may
about me. La Maledizio is
disappear
more important.
again or die while everybody else is gone. And speaking of dying, we do have yet another area of a crash. Ridiculous. Terrible game.
I decided not to leave quite yet. I was sure there was more to discover up here.
So I have to do all of this again. Did I talk to Marquez? Who cares? Like,
Amazing. The light.
let's just click through all of
The
this
sacred.
and see if we can go through everything
But how does it bring us closer
and
to
save
the
us some time.
Eva.
Terrible game. Terribly programmed game. Badly written game. Plays
Okay.
irritatingly. Honestly,
must
I'm
somehow
starting to
relate the
to question
Papa,
my
are you
ability
crazy?
to play
What are you
point-click
doing?
adventures
You got
too.
me- Ramon
I've
is
run
outside
into
keeping
a
watch.
decent percentage of point-click adventures that are just too frustrating. Maybe I've just gotten old and cranky in my
George,
old
I'm glad
age,
you're
but
safe. What did you...
But it
but I just
What?
don't have the mental energy anymore to
Come to the...
bang my head against the wall trying to figure out moon logic. Grab the painting.
What are you doing?
Nico found I promise.
I suppose that one of the ironies here is that even though we know this was about a $1.3 million game to make,
I should stay with you, Papa.
if they had just hand-drawn 2D sprites, or just not really hand-drawn, but just stick with 2D sprites instead of 3D sprites,
Have you brought
I don't think it would have really saved them that much money.
Sure, why do you want it?
In all honesty.
I found out what Genon was up to.
Maybe not.
Ganon who tried
Maybe it
to
would
hide a
save
painting
several
from
hundred
Madofsky?
hours in animating.
No, Genon who led the fascists here during the Civil War. Genon who then spent months here searching for something. And who vanished one day, leaving that trunk full of goodies over there.
You think he's connected to the Ganon who wrote the letter to Madofsky?
It seems likely that they were related.
Maybe. So, what's the plan you've uncovered?
Take a look at this. It's Genon's map. He was searching for something.
Searching for what exactly?
The Tabula Veritatis, I guess.
You think he found it?
I doubt it. If he had, then people wouldn't still be chasing after the painting.
So why did you want me to bring it?
See this scribble in the sea?
It's the same shape as the circles around the Ouroboros.
Yes. Genon thought that pattern in the painting had something to do with a map of Catalonia.
So, I guess we try to finish what Ganon started. I'd put money on those circles around the Ouroboros being places in Catalonia.
But which places?
Maybe the painting can give us some more clues.
Let's start by looking in this trunk because I didn't feel like we got everything out of it. Take the hat.
I lifted the hat out of the chest.
Take the
I removed
oilcloth.
the oilcloth from the chest.
Take the shirt.
There was something tucked beneath the shirt. I
Take the
picked
folded
up the
note.
folded note. It was a telegram.
We'll read that later.
I picked up the blanket. There was nothing underneath it. I had no desire to take the old boots. There was nothing underneath the other shirt. I had no desire to take the old boots.
So I can't take the boots out. Well, let's look at the telegram. This telegram has been encoded with a substitution cipher to correct the code. Highlight the letter on the telegram, then choose the corresponding letter from the bottom alphabet. You've chosen letters will appear on the telegram and should see the correct words start to form. If you make a mistake, simply select the letter and to reassign it. Yes, we've seen this one before from the remaster of Broken Sword 1. Let's say that this is T, and then this is H, and this is E. And let's see. Let's say that this is O, and then this is ironically N. And this probably isn't T, frankly, but let's see. A, perhaps an R, and just have to do some guesswork here. E. Let's see if I made this T. What if we made this H? And this N. This is A. N. D. Okay, this isn't working greatly. At all. This can't be this. We've got to find something that matches something here. That might be right. Maybe. Like, this is still a lot of stuff here, though. Do we have A somewhere? We have A here, but that's probably not it. Let's see. Oh, P has to be A though, doesn't it? Because you're not, it's either A or I. And if it's I, I'm gonna say it's A. Do we have an S? Let's see, this is probably not T, but whatever. Let's just try to fill in some things. A, E, E, I. That seems right. And see, there very well may not be a X, a Y, or a Z. And this feels like this might be a stretch goal anyways. So we may find out that solving this doesn't help much. Or this might prove to be the exact thing we need. G. What if this is stop at the end? Because it is a telegram. So S-T-O-P. Does it say the word stop anywhere else here? Stop. Well, that certainly is something to consider. Let's see. A-R-E-R-O-R. No. Let's... U-R... So this must not be R. the... What if the first word is tablet? Tab. E would be E. Maybe I'm misspelling some of this here. If oh, let's see, the Tableau Veritas, this maybe W. And is this an M for woman? I don't think so, but whatever. This is probably C for Carther. And then that probably means this is U for survivors. And then this is probably L for this. The Tableau Veritas was smuggled. Out on, let's see. We have an X here. Confirmed. Let's see, is that M? No. This is Y. So the Tableau Veritas was smuggled out of Monteseguro to Catalonia by a group of Carther survivors. Stop. I have confirmed this from the confessions extracted by the Dominican Inquisitor.
I deciphered the telegram. The Tabula Veritatis was smuggled out of Montsegur to Catalonia by a group of Cathar survivors. I have confirmed this from confessions extracted by the Dominican Inquisitor Emmerich of Girona. It was signed Wolfram. I had no desire to take the old boots.
So we get all of that.
I put everything back in the chest.
And that was helpful, and then he puts everything back in the chest for not a great reason. Let's look at some things.
A dusty old globe.
Because George hasn't gotten to look at anything in here.
The books were covered in cobwebs. They haven't been touched for a long time.
I don't know at this point why I am trying to stretch this game out.
The window looked out
by all
onto a
rights, should
small
just try to
courtyard.
rush through the
It had a
end.
groove of solid iron bars. A moth-eaten tapestry hung on the wall. The suit of armor appeared to be standing guard.
And let's see, let's talk to Ava.
A moth-eaten tapestry hung on the wall.
Nope, that's not what I wanted to do.
Eva.
Ava.
Yes?
Do you have any idea what we should be looking for?
What do I know? You're the ones who think there are secrets hidden here.
So again, we don't have a lot of new things to show her, so we just have to show this, and then talk about this and this.
The telegram in the trunk mentioned Montsegur and Girona.
Well, Montsegur was near where I grew up in France. It was some kind of Cathar castle.
It was one of the locations on the fresco, too.
Girona, it has to be important.
Mark what we know on the map. Maybe we can spot a pattern.
So what do you think about La Maledictio?
My father thinks it's going to lead him to some ancient Gnostic secret. Me? I still think that it's all superstitious nonsense.
There was a coat of arms on the fresco. A crown above crescents and stripes.
I think that's Catalan, but I know no more.
This map is confusing.
Well, we can be sure about the 2 locations mentioned in the telegram. But perhaps there are more clues to be found.
So I wonder if I'm going to end up having to look around the place. Or, honestly, what it feels like I could do is just put the map over, the painting over the map and then push pins through it and damage it severely. And then they would just overlap that way. How far have we gotten now? Oddly, we had a really big jump from 59 to 64, which is about 5%, and we've been having a lot of that. But then, in the time between, we only got 2% done. So we may run into a case of hitting some more difficult parts that take longer to finish, and maybe that's how we'll see more game here. Although I mostly should be just checked out, honestly. I'm sticking with it, but this game is dangerously close to rage quitting. By all rights, people should have rage quit this game the first time it crashed, not the 8th or 9th time that's happened so far. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.